The Krusty Krab is back in business!
Today, we're going to be taking a look at 24 mistakes from Season 9 and 10 of SpongeBob. You don't want to miss these, so try and spot them as we go. Now, let's dive in. First up, we have Don't Look Now from Season 9. This one has got a lot of mistakes, so hold on tight as we check out some clips.
Patrick and I are going to see Fisherman 4.
You two won't sleep a wink tonight if you see that movie.
Take your seats.
Yeah! Seats taken, sir. Ooh, the movie's starting.
So the first mistake happens here, with all the people in the background. They keep changing up or moving seats between shots. In this first scene, you got the purple fish on the far right, an old guy behind her, and some more fish in the fourth and back row. Then, after SpongeBob and Patrick sit down, and during the wide shot, there's a green and red fish in the second row, and the fish in the back few rows have changed. This error stays a consistent thing throughout this episode. See here, when this fish, called Sophie, shushes the two noisy friends, the green fish that was sitting directly next to her has now moved over a seat. He stays that way, so I guess it was either a mistake or he just didn't like sitting next to her. Also, throughout the episode, Patrick has sharp teeth, which he usually doesn't.
Okay, keep your eyes open.
No problem.
Trick, I'm getting scared. Hold my eyelids open.
I'm on it.
It was Rocky Road!
Must close eyes. Too scary.
I can't hold your eyelids. They're too slippery. No!
As SpongeBob and Patrick rewatch the movie because they couldn't keep their eyes open and missed it the first time, there's a new guy behind Patrick who moves too. He is in the row directly behind them at first, but when Patrick jumps over the seat to keep SpongeBob's eyes open, he's moved a row back and is now in the third row. Later on, SpongeBob and Patrick need an extra hand returning to their homes because they're still spooked after the movie. So Squidward shoots SpongeBob back into his house, but watch what happens. Did you see it? SpongeBob is fully clothed when he goes up the stairs, but he's suddenly in nothing but his underwear when he lands in bed. Also, you can see he is wearing shoes when he's in bed, but when he gets scared by Patrick, he's barefoot. Squidward dresses as the fisherman to scare SpongeBob and Patrick. The two of them barricade the door, and unfortunately, Gary is included. But in the very next shot, he's gone. Either Gary, knowing he didn't add much to the barricade, bailed on them, or the animators just forgot about him. Like I said, there are a lot of mistakes in this episode, but we're almost there. SpongeBob's chimney is missing in this scene. It's usually right here, on the right side. And at the end of the episode, when Patrick is dropping stuff on Squidward, you can hear him making noises, but he only moves the first time. His mouth doesn't move for the other noises. Listen closely.
There, no need to thank us. We were only doing what any good friends would do for their bestest buddy.
Next up is another episode from Season 9, Little Yellow Book. Now, this one is a short one, so we'll jump right into some clips.
What was that imbecile doing in there? An old book?
What? Nothing!
What's going on here?
So, Squidward has found SpongeBob's diary, but that isn't what's weird about this scene. SpongeBob makes Krabby Patties inside himself, and he only adds ketchup and mustard. But when he drops the Krabby Patties on the table, they've got lettuce on them, which he never added beforehand. Unless he's already got some lettuce stored inside himself, then that's a little error right there. Squidward, while making fun of SpongeBob, places a stereo on top of the grill, but when SpongeBob starts dancing, it disappears. Right after, a heartbroken SpongeBob runs out of the Krusty Krab in his underwear, and another mistake occurs. He leaves in this underwear, but the next time we see him, he's fully clothed.
You know, Squidward, everyone was so amused by it, I had it published. It's a bestseller, and I owe it all to you. Besides, you only read my work diary.
Here's another one from season 9 called SpongeBob You're Fired. This episode is pretty heartbreaking, especially for SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs, what's the good word?
Well, actually, SpongeBob, there's 2 words. And they're not very good. You're fired.
Okay, that's enough. It's closing time. You know, it just won't be the same around here without you. Bye-bye now. Sayonara. Good riddance.
Poor SpongeBob. Despite this heartbreaking scene, there's actually a mistake here. When Squidward is first carrying SpongeBob out of the Krusty Krab, there are the typical red ship steering wheel tables around the dining room. But when Squidward is saying bye, the inside of the Krusty Krab is empty. So a depressed SpongeBob goes home and feeds Gary. When he does so, you can see he has a cabinet full of food for Gary. But when he goes to feed Gary again later, his cabinet is suddenly barren. Also, check out his arm in this scene. It wraps around the can 3 times, and then when he goes to drop the food in the bowl, it's wrapped around way more. Since SpongeBob is out of food for Gary, he makes his own homemade version. When he does, watch his face in this scene. When SpongeBob pulls his head out from under the cabinet, he blinks once. A split second after he blinks, his eyelashes randomly vanish for a second. It almost gives the illusion that he blinks again, but if you watch closely, his eyes don't close. The last mistake for this episode is pretty crazy. So SpongeBob is trying out a new job. He has a new uniform and everything, even a new hat. But during the close-up, he suddenly has a Krusty Krab hat on instead. Apparently, the creators forgot where he was working for a moment. Next up is It Came From Goo Lagoon, another episode from season 9. This one doesn't have as many mistakes as the others, but the ones that happen are still pretty noticeable. So let's check them out.
Chum! Get your red hot chum here! What's the deal? Hello? It's perfectly edible, people! Oh, come on, man! This is my livelihood!
A beautiful day beachside.
Plankton can never win, not even on a nice day. But did you notice the error? Squidward's umbrella smashes Plankton's wagon, and chum goes everywhere. But in the next shot, we're looking at Plankton from far away, and all the chum that was all over the ground is gone. Sandy shows up, and there's a weird error here. Watch her suit during this scene. Did you spot it?
Stop! Those bubbles are dangerous!
Dangerous?
Fascinating. Tell us more.
Yeah, but with visual aids.
Okay.
A red button appears in the middle of Sandy's suit. When she first comes out of the robot, it isn't there. But in the next scene, it is. That's not the only weird uniform issue in this episode. So here, SpongeBob and Patrick are in their swimwear. But the next time we see them, they're suddenly in their normal clothes. They're still out in the ocean, so why the sudden uniform change? Then we got this guy, who is green at first, and he jumps into the trash can to avoid the raining purple goo. He jumps out of the trash can, and suddenly he's blue instead. It's such a weird mistake. It makes you wonder how the artist forgot what color he was between shots. In one of the final shots of the episode, the great big purple goo ball explodes. We get a good view of the Krusty Krab and the chum bucket from above. Typically, the chum bucket is missing its path in some episodes. It's a common mistake, and this scene is no different. The path to both the chum bucket and the Krusty Krab are missing. And our final episode for the day is The Incredible Shrinking Sponge from Season 10. This will be a quick one since there aren't too many mistakes here.
What the shrimp? Hey, what's going on here? Whoa, that's too hot! What is that? Hey, it's my little urchin friend. Aw, hey, little guy, don't cry. Yay! Little urchin, you are free to go. You okay?
The mistake here is really easy to spot. SpongeBob's teeth get pulled out of his mouth. Ouch. But they come out like dentures. He doesn't put them back in either. We actually see the moment he goes from having no teeth to suddenly having teeth again. These last two mistakes occur back to back. Try to find both of them.
Personal hygiene service! Did you see that? Personal hygiene service!
When Mr. Krabs hangs up the personal hygiene service sign on the menu, you can see the menu items and their prices. And believe it or not, Krabby Patty is actually spelled wrong. Their #1 menu item. As you can see here, Patty is spelled P-A-T-T-I-E instead of P-A-T-T-Y. Maybe they meant Krabby Patties, plural, but even then they forgot the S. And I doubt Mr. Krabs would sell Krabby Patties in a bundle. The next error, which is also pretty bad, has to do with this guy, the one that yells personal hygiene service. Right after he yells that, he isn't in the line that runs to the register. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. See you there.
It's okay, Squidward. I'll make the patties for you. Yeah, I forgot. I'm too little.